Trying out the new Tekken Cantaloupe G Fuel today. I'm excited for this one because I like cantaloupe and I've never tasted anything that's supposed to taste like cantaloupe that wasn't cantaloupe. Smells like cantaloupe. Wow, they did a really good job at that. That's such a distinct, unique flavor. I approve. Anyway, yesterday I found out that I'm an elite level troll on the internet. I didn't know that I had the power to do that. I made a tweet in the morning about how I think Patrick Mahomes needs to be cut from the Chiefs because he's playing on a bum ankle and risking his contract. Satire. And the reactions were so good though that I had to make a TikTok about it and dude, there is like 1,000 people at my throat. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life, and they're still going off. Like, some people don't understand sarcasm in this world, and I'm just starting to understand that now. Like, it doesn't exist in them. This was dangerous for me to figure out. Anyway, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and happy Thursday. In today's video, I am going to be giving you guys my most underrated player on every NFL team. I feel like this video is a good one to do because there's a lot of players in the league who just don't get talked about, don't get the appreciation they deserve, so we can try and do that now. Couple of quick things before we hop into the video. One, head over to gfuel.com, use code WyattzWorld, save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. And two, if you're 18 years or older, head over to Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where code WyattzWorld will match up to $100 of your first deposit. Remember guys, always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Okay, ladies and gents, boys and girls, children of most ages, we are at the one category tier list, and that is the category of underrated. Every person knows how these work. I'm gonna drag, drop, and talk, so we're gonna start with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a good one to start with, too. It's kind of hard to call anybody on that team underrated right now, but I might sound crazy here. I'm gonna say Darius Slay this year. And maybe it was just me, but dude, he's 32 years old. Like, I thought he was washed. I didn't think he was gonna do anything this year, and he played like one of the best cornerbacks in football. Played every game, had 3 interceptions, without a doubt one of the reasons that they are as far as they are. All right, up next, we've got the Broncos. And I probably could say Javonte here, or I could say Cortland. I don't think Jerry's really underrated anymore. However, I'm not gonna say any of those guys. I'm gonna go with Tim Patrick, because I think he's been incredibly solid over like the last 4 years, but nobody even knows who he is. So Tim Patrick, you're underrated. Next, we've got the Packers. I do think people sleep on AJ Dillon for how good he's gonna be. I think Devontae Wyatt should be talked about a little bit more because of his last name, nothing to do with his skill. However, I'm actually going to go with Romeo Doubs because he has been completely written off as far as I've heard. Everyone's talking about Christian Watson or drafting someone else. I think Romeo Doubs is actually pretty good, and if he got an opportunity to show people like he will next year, you guys will see it. Moving on, we got the Jets. I can't say Becton or Elijah Vera Tucker. I've talked about them too much recently. Maybe Jordan Whitehead. I hope I don't sound dumb for saying that, but he's always seemed to be pretty solid, and he just gets overshadowed because everyone looks at Sauce. After the Jets, we've got the Bengals. Tyler Boyd, always will be Tyler Boyd. Can't say it enough, the guy is capable of being a #1 receiver on literally any team in the league. Like, he is that good. He has too much to compete with on his own team. It sucks. Up next, we got the Browns. Donovan Peoples-Jones comes to my mind right away because they keep saying that Cleveland desperately needs this #2 receiver. They need him, they need him, they need him. Guys, I think you have it. Like, I think he is capable of it. Unless I'm missing, like, some huge drop fest in his career, I don't know why people write him off. Moving on, we got Jacksonville. Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk still a little bit. Andre Sisco, I mean, you can draw a name out of a hat. Moving on, we got Seattle. Tariq Woolen, because I didn't even really understand how good he did until the end of the year. I thought it was Quandre carrying that defense. I honestly don't think that anymore. After the Seahawks, we've got the Panthers. Terrence Marshall Jr., because I've always thought he has the potential to be great. And Jeremy Chin, because I know he missed some time this year, but he's still a very, very good safety. Moving on, we got the Patriots. We just talked about him the other day, but Jonathan Jones is one of them, but I'm actually going to go with Jacoby Myers because he has been insanely reliable. He's just like a Devin Singletary of wide receivers. I saw a comparison on Twitter like that, and it's true. He's a very, very solid guy. He just gets absolutely no spotlight. All right, next up, we got the Titans. Oh, why don't we do the obvious? Treylon Burks. I think any Titans fan that watched him this year, anybody who watched him this year knows that he is really, really talented. He just battled injuries and he was in a horrible passing system this year, but Treylon Burks, I think he's going to be like Chris Olave. Up next, we got the Dolphins. I'm going to say number 14, whoever that wide receiver was, the guy who just makes a huge catch every single game, it seemed like. He would always come up when Tyreek and Jalen Waddle couldn't be found. I don't even know his name, but number 14, the receiver, that's my man. After the Dolphins, we got the Chiefs. Trent McDuffie. I know he didn't play the full year, and I know he's not an interception machine, but I think in coverage, he is extremely solid, and he's played really well this postseason. After them, we've got the Cardinals. I don't know, man. Hollywood, maybe Zaven Collins, if people don't think he's a good linebacker, I think he's exceptional. All right, now we got the Vikings. Cam Dantzler or Alexander Madison? I think Cam Dantzler can be a really good corner, and I think he has shown light that he is a really good corner, but there's just injury issues, and there is times where he doesn't recognize a play. But I think he's good, and Alexander Madison, honestly, you might slap me in the face, but I think that he could take over as the starter, and we wouldn't really see a difference between him and Cook. Like, I think he's really good. All right, moving on, we got the Bucks, and I would like to point out, this isn't my pick, but Tristan Wirfs, because people don't understand how effective just one elite offensive lineman like that is. But I'm actually gonna go with Antoine Winfield Jr. because he didn't make the Pro Bowl this year. He got kind of slapped off. He had an interception, a forced fumble, like 4 sacks. He wasn't bad. And if I can't say him, then I'll probably say Rashard White because he had a couple of nice runs and I think he's probably better than Lenny. Up next, we got San Francisco, and I don't think really anybody on this team is underrated. So if I had to go with just someone off the top of my head, I'm gonna say Elijah Mitchell because he's constantly hurt, but every time he plays, he eats. After that, we've got the Falcons. Alligator, their running back. That guy is a machine. Like, he should be the #1 there for a long time. All right, moving on to the Lions, and we can't say the entire team. That's not allowed. I'm going to go with DJ Chark because I've had his back since he was in Jacksonville. I don't think he should have ever been kicked out of that system like he was. And if you give that man a role, he has proved it on not only the Jags, but the Lions that he is capable of taking in a solid workload. After the Lions, we've got the Bills. Matt Milano, because he's played like one of the best linebackers in the league, and nobody wants to talk about him. After the Bills, we got Baltimore. Devin Duvernay still, probably. He's just so overlooked. Like, people just forget he's even in the league. People think of the Ravens receivers and they look right past him and think about getting someone else. Why? Like, he has done very, very good. He's just a #2, #3 receiver in a run-first offense. What do you expect? Up next, we've got Chicago, and this one I really dreaded because I don't think I have an answer for you guys, or at least a good one. Maybe still Mooney because people start to know how good Justin Fields is now. Darnell Mooney is still kind of slept on like I did last year, and we know he can play, but I really don't know who else to say on that team. All right, moving on, we got Dallas, and there's about 3 guys on their offense who I think are actually really underrated. Tony P is obviously one of them, but Noah Brown this year I think really stepped up, and Michael Gallup, whenever he can play, he is typically really good, but he battles a lot of injuries. They're another team that claims they really desperately need a #2, and like, I don't think that's all that necessary as long as Dak doesn't just throw at air. After the Cowboys, we got the Texans. This year it was Jerry Hughes. Are you kidding me? 34-year-old man goes from Buffalo to the worst team in the league and still records 9 sacks and 2 fumbles. Nobody thought he was gonna do good. And that'll bring us to the Colts. Gilly Lock, nobody talked about this year. He was still one of the best, kind of like Darius Slay. But otherwise, I'm gonna actually say Paris Campbell because this year, Alec Pierce too, they came up in spots where, you know, they weren't expected to really do much. Deserve some credit. Moving on, we got the Chargers. Joshua Palmer. Not the best receiver, but in the 2 years he's played, he's either been a guy that they don't throw the ball to or someone's hurt and he needs to step in. And when he does, he puts up numbers. After the Chargers, we got the Rams. Can't believe I'm saying this, but right now, I'm actually going to say Cam Akers. I know a lot of people still think he's garbage, and I did until the end of the year, but he seriously went off. Like 400 yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns in the last 3 games. He still has potential. Moving on, we got the Raiders, and this year, I know I'm kind of just going off this year's underrated players. That's kind of the point of the video, though. Mac Hollins, he's been around a long time, hasn't really ever done much, and this year, you know, Waller was hurt, Renfro was hurt for a lot of the time, the offense was crippled. That guy stepped up, and he performed. After the Raiders, we got the Saints. Raheed Shaheed, the guy that touches a ball and scores a touchdown or makes an 80-yard play every single time. That guy's like the genie from Aladdin, honestly. I don't think he's human. After the Saints, we got the Giants. Oh, boy. I mean, Isaiah Hodgins is up there. Daniel Jones is up there. I think Kayvon Thibodeau, people don't understand how good he really is. Like, he is up there. I think one of your cornerbacks was pretty good this year, too. Aziz, whatever. Didn't he have a decent year? After the Giants, we got the Steelers. George Pickens. He just hasn't had opportunities to really get the ball. I know he's made some huge plays, but I think he's also going to be a dog going forward. And finally, we are ending with Washington. Derek Forrest. He's a safety. He had like 4 picks this year, a couple of forced fumbles. I never heard his name once. Did you guys? And there you have it. That is my most underrated player on every single NFL team. That is where I'm gonna stop the video for the day. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, you already know what to do to show support. Comment, like, subscribe, turn that bell on. I do my absolute best to post on this channel every single day. With everything I just said, I'm gonna hop off and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. Have a good rest of your week, and as always, I will see you in the next video.